Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Morgan County Movers and Shakers. My name is Jan Sullivan, and today I'm going to interview the most incredible real estate agent I know. Me. I am excited about this. It's going to be fun. So, what I'm going to do is I'll put the questions in and then I'll answer the questions. And then it'd be like, me answering questions. So, excited for you to get to know me. You probably already read my bio in the parkbench.com uh, interview. And today you get to see me live and in person. Thank you. I am a Lexington, Kentucky transplant. I've lived in Madison for about 5.5 years. Well, I really wanted to have my own business again and be my own boss, schedule my own hours. I'm good that way. I wanted the freedom and flexibility that comes along with working for yourself. And I also love helping people leave the rental lifestyle and become homeowners to begin to earn equity in their own home. That's very important. Well, I wasn't happy at my job and I wanted something different. I've always been a good salesperson, so I thought, why not try my hand in real estate? So while I was working, I started online to get my license, and then I got injured at work and I had to leave to have surgery. And during that time, since I was off a month before my surgery and then a month after my surgery, I intensified my studies and I eventually got my license and was able to get work. Well, Jesus has always been my ideal business model and role model. He set the example of how we're supposed to live and how we are to treat others. He was a servant first, and so I aim to serve people and to work for them. And he went about loving and caring for others, and so that's what I want to do as well. It doesn't always work out well in the business world, but in real estate, I think it does because real estate is a lot about building relationships with people and that's what Jesus did, so that's what I want to do. The most memorable experience I've had with a client, well, probably the day I went to go see a home and the client called me right as I pulled up to the house and she told me that she was way too tired. She was just done. She was burned out. She wasn't coming. I was too close. I mean, I was already there. I kind of just pulled up in front of the house, so it was too late for me to turn around. So I told her I was going to go ahead and look at it anyway. We'd been looking for a long time and we'd lost out on a couple of houses because the market had been so crazy. So I said, I'm going to see it. Just going to see it. I walked into that house, and the moment I walked into that house, I knew. So I immediately called her on the phone and I said, you need to get here as soon as possible. This is ridiculous. So she showed up. And not only did she show up, she went and called her neighbor. And her neighbor, she came back with her neighbor. And then she went and called her sister. And she went back with her sister. We made an offer on that house. And after a little negotiating, it was ours. Well, it was hers, but I felt like I worked hard for it too. They almost missed their chance on their dream home, which they are happily living in now. And I just went to their open house the other day. So if you know me on Facebook, then you've probably seen their pictures. But it was a great party. We had a good time. Well, for one thing, I'm not in it for the money. Okay, well, that's totally not totally true. I do need a paycheck, that's for sure. But I have no desire to be a millionaire. I genuinely care that people find the home of their dreams, and I want people to be able to earn equity in their home and not give all their money away to somebody else that's earning equity off them. So, and I used to help my brother-in-law remodel houses, so I like to go look at houses and see what the potential is. It's fun. Well, I love to go to Christian music concerts. I'm a musician at heart. I majored in flute when I was a kid all the way through college, and I play the piano by the skin of my teeth. I passed piano proficiency, so I'm not really that great, but I know how to play it. And I play the guitar. And I also like to bake. And so baking and guitar playing don't always go well together because I wash my hands so much I ruin my fingers, and you have to have really good calluses on your fingers in order to play the guitar. So yeah, I kind of struggle with that sometimes. But I also love to sing, and if you hang out with me long enough, you'll eventually hear me sing, because it's just who I am. It's like my second language. Well, besides working, I'm actively involved in my church, Grace Fellowship Madison. I sing with the worship team. And I go to Bible study on Wednesday evenings. I also have my own cottage bakery out of my house. It's called Bakery Blessings, and I specialize in cake design. I can make just about anything, and I try to do all of it from scratch. And pretty soon you might see another interview about that part of me. Well, Sippy and I love to take walks. So when we do, we always run into somebody to talk to or to walk with. I like to drive through the downtown historic area and look at all the historic homes. The citizens of Madison really do a great job at keeping them up. And I know having a historic home can be a pain in the rear sometimes because you have to fix things on the outside back exactly the way they were. So but just know that I believe it's well worth the effort, and if you're willing to have a historic home and put that kind of effort into it, I'm just applauding you. Well done. A third thing I like to do is go to the antique stores, because you never know what you're going to find, and it might bring back some memories of your childhood, of your past. So yeah, that's always fun, and we've got plenty here to look at. So hopefully you'll get to see some of those interviews too. My favorite restaurant? Well, I'm a food lover, so I really enjoy something about every one of them. So it's kind of really hard to pick a favorite. I'm just going to say that my niece works at Town 220, so at least they get a shout out. And they do take like a lot of my cakes get delivered there sometimes for people that have special birthdays and stuff like that. So yay, Town 220. I haven't really had any odd requests, but I did have to do a video tour on a home for a client that was full of lifelike dolls. And I swear their eyes followed me everywhere I went. It was kind of freaky. They wanted me to go back and let the inspector in, and I was kind of glad that they canceled at the last minute and they were able to get there to be there by themselves. So I didn't have to go back in that house. Ugh. Oh, some of my highest highs happen at an annual Christian music festival that they used to have in Wilmore, Kentucky called Ichthus. I used to be a youth pastor, and watching my kids surrender their lives to Christ and watching how he showed up during the weekend, it was a 4-day weekend. He showed up at every Ichthus, and it was just absolutely amazing. Probably the one I remember the most. We were having communion out on the open field. It was they have it so that 10,000 people can take communion at once, which is amazing in and of itself. But at this particular time, you could look in the sky, and there were all these dark clouds all the way around us, just completely surrounding the whole area. But there was no wind, no rain or anything. The sun was shining on us, and it was just a wonderful time of prayer and communion and, kids giving their lives to Christ. Well, when we got back to the tent later that evening, I received a text or a message from my parents saying that um, on the local news that night, the weatherman was just incredibly confused at what was happening because on the radar, all of these terrible storms were going all the way around us in a circle, and we were like the donut hole. It was clear over where we were. And that to me was like, oh wow, God made his presence known and kept us safe when we could have really been in danger. And he just showed up so many times. I mean, I will never forget Ichthus. It doesn't exist anymore. They're trying to bring it back, but I don't know that it will ever be the same because it was so long ago, but it was great. Oh, and that's Sippy. Uh, my lowest low was probably when my engagement failed. I got really mad at God and I walked away from Him for a while. I really thought I was listening to Him and I realized that I was not. Um, but the good thing is that I've learned is that He always takes us back. And the thing that probably got me through it the most was Kelly Clarkson's CD Breakaway, because almost all those songs were like right on point for how I was feeling at the time. So I just played it over and over and over again. Um, but yeah, God was good to give me time to get over it. But so yeah, I'm still single. Just throwing that out there. So my current family situation, yeah. Yeah, I have a dog. Her name is Sippy. She just turned 4 years old yesterday. And I am currently single. I have two Venezuelan refugees that live in my home. They have become my brothers from different mothers and different languages. I love them dearly. They are such sweet men, and they really do a good job at taking care of me and caring for me. And they've already told me that whenever I retire, I can go to Venezuela and they take care of me there. Sorry, she's barking. I'm learning Spanish and they are learning English. So in my house, we speak a lot of Spanglish, and Sippy actually is a dual language dog. She knows how to speak both. My sister and her husband, and my niece and her husband live in Greensboro, and my parents live in Ocala, Florida, and my nephew lives in Jacksonville, Florida. So yeah, my baby is loud. The person who had the biggest impact on me in my childhood was probably my mom. Sorry, Dad. She taught me the love of my Savior. She taught me how to turn to the Word of God for all my struggles and for all my praises. Both of my parents raised me as a Christian and taught me the importance of following His way. And for that, I'm forever thankful. And I ended up going on to seminary after I graduated from college, and I got a bachelor's degree. Well, I got a bachelor's degree in music therapy, and then I got a master's degree in youth ministry, and I was a youth pastor for about 13 years full time. So, and then I did it part time for a while, and then I opened my own bakery. So, yeah, of which kind of was like a youth ministry. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Probably the memory that stands out most to me. My dad was a bit of a miser with money, and he still is. But I overheard him tell someone that the way he paid for our family vacations was to volunteer as a youth counselor for the youth for their summer trips to Myrtle Beach in Florida. But I didn't care. As a kid, those were the best weeks of my life. I had a lot of fun playing in the ocean, and I loved hanging out with the teenagers at the church. Um, One time I got stung by a jellyfish though, and that wasn't fun at all. But I'll never forget it. It was a memory. Somebody had to carry me back up to the condo, and my mom was gone shopping, and my dad can't handle pain, so he just, after he carried me up there, he disappeared. But thank goodness my friends' moms were there, and they all took care of me, and I was okay until my mom got home. Well, the future. The guys keep telling me that all I have to do is to come to Venezuela when I retire and they will take care of me. Um, but I'd really love to have an extended stay in Ireland and delve into my ancestry. I am a Sullivan after all, which is pretty much like being a Smith in the United States. Um, I'd love to be able to live comfortably and be able to give of my resources to help others. I would really love to go back to San Carlos in Venezuela, San Carlos Island, and restore the church that we built there and help feed the children that are so desperately starving. In I think it's Macara. It's another island in Venezuela that's very near San Carlos. They're the people that live in the houses on stilts, and there's nowhere to grow food in the mangroves, and the water is so briny that you just can't grow things there. So it's not like they can grow their own fruits and vegetables. But the children there right now, especially with the situation with the president, the dictator, the kids are starving again, and trying to find a way to get resources to them, and it's very difficult right now. So if you want to help out with that, hit me up and we'll talk. But yeah, it just means I have to work a whole lot more now. Um, so I'm pretty good at giving advice to young people, but the best advice that I can give um, is if you seek him, you will find him if you search with all your heart. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And if you know him and you follow him, then everything will be taken care of. Okay. Um, he, I don't know where I would be without him. I just know that I wouldn't be where I am today or who I am today. So, yeah, I would have to say, get to know this guy named Jesus. He's amazing. He saved my life. When my life is over, I want to be known by the way I loved. I hope, if anything, that they would remember me as an example of Christ, and more than anything, that they would remember Christ and not me, because I'm nothing special except his child. And if people will come to know him because of the way I lived my life, then that's worth being remembered for. Well, that's it for another episode of Movers and Shakers of Morgan County, or Morgan County Movers and Shakers. I haven't quite got the name right yet. I'm trying to figure out which way it works best. If you like the show, hit the like button. If you didn't like the show, hit the dislike button. If you have questions, feedback, or an opinion you want to share, comment below. And if you know someone who should see this, please share it. If you want to get notified when another episode comes out so that you can get to know the hidden gems and local leaders of Morgan County, then subscribe to the show and click the bell notification icon. Your engagement means more than you know, because it helps local businesses, professionals, and leaders of our community get more exposure for what they do, because it tells these platforms to put this content in front of more people. And that's super important for the growth of Morgan County. So thank you in advance. And if you're thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate in Morgan County and you want to work with a local market expert, that's me. I work with eXp Realty. I've been in real estate for about 2 years. I live in Morgan County. I specialize in Morgan County, and I can help you find the right home and negotiate better deals, because I've chosen to be a local market expert. And even if you're not ready to move and you just want to talk real estate, I'm happy to help. Just reach out to me. My email is jan.sullivan@exprealty.com. My phone number is 859-509-0454. Remember, I'm a Kentucky transplant. And you can direct message me on social media. My handle is jsullivan Realty on Facebook. And you can find me just by Googling me. All the links are in the description of this video. Thanks again for coming, and we'll see you next time.